All right, Nick, let's go down to Gainesville, talk about the Florida Gators. A very, very interesting topic today. Florida has made some big news in the recruiting world, and I think this is showing that Billy Napier has this team on the right track, and they're going to make some bigger moves going forward.
Yeah, Miles, when you first showed me this report, I almost didn't believe it. I think Florida fans will find it really exciting. Of course, it's a big recruiting story. But before we get into that, Gators fans, obviously, we're wrapping up spring ball 2023. Isn't that far away in terms of the season? And that's why we want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Give us your one breakout candidate for the Florida Gators going into 2023 fall camp and then the season after that. The one guy that's kind of been under the radar, but he's about to have a huge season for Florida. Let us know who you think that guy will be in the comment section below. All right, Miles, what you got, though? What's the latest out of Gainesville?
Yeah, Nick, this story I'm about to tell you is very crazy. A lot of Gators fans might have already caught wind of this, but there's some deeper implications onto what this means for the Florida program. And I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, I have crossed my I's and dotted my T's, so I think I know what I'm talking about here, or at least the internet sleuths have figured out that as well. So I made sure to verify it from a couple different sources. But let's get into it, Nick. So the first bit of news, the most important part, is that four-star quarterback Austin Simmons has committed to the Florida Gators. This is a big-time recruit, top 100 guy in the 2025 class, Nick. This per on3 sports.com. So I think this is a big move for the Florida Gators to get another high-level quarterback coming in after the whole saga with Rashada and all of that as well. So they got a guy, Nick, here. And allegedly, it says 2025 class quarterback here. But somehow, some way, this guy is not only a great quarterback, but he's a great student as well. He has a 5.34 GPA or something like that. And he has graduated high school as a freshman and now is attempting to reclass to the 2023 class. So he is going to be in Florida as early as this season, Nick. This is going to be very interesting to see how it goes moving forward. I don't know how it's possible. I've checked multiple sources, and they all say that this is the case. So this would be very, very interesting. I've never really heard of anything about this, but not only is all of this crazy, but he's just a very, very good quarterback prospect for Florida to get as well. And a top 100 four-star recruit. Big news for Napier and co. to get this level of a player down into Gainesville, Nick. What do you think about this story? Is it preposterous? I know it is, but what do you think about the implications here for Florida?
Yeah, so I think the bigger deal for me, obviously, this kid is very talented, both on and off the field. It seems like he's a really smart guy, hard worker, of course, and obviously, it's going to be a really good football player, top 100 recruit, like you said. I think his ceiling's through the roof. The guy is going to be potentially be spectacular. But the thing I really like about this is they went down into the muck. They went to Pahokee, right? Belgrade's the other high school there. Listen, I'm from Florida. I went to high school in Florida. I went to high school in Pensacola, completely opposite part of the state. I get it. But that area, for anyone who knows high school football, is absolutely legendary with the elite level talent that comes out of that part of the world with those two high schools predominantly. And getting any sort of player, frankly, any elite player is always a challenge because you have all the big recruits. You got the Floridas, the Florida States, Miami's, but you got basically every school in the SEC and ACC vying for all the kids coming out of the muck, coming out of Pahokee specifically, coming out of Belgrade specifically, those two schools. And going down there and winning a guy like this, I think is a great sign for Florida and Napier, because it's one of those things where your program is going through a rebuilding phase. A lot of times you see the bigger schools, or I don't say bigger schools, but the more prominent schools at the times, in this case, maybe a Georgia or an Alabama, go into your home turf and steal some guys. It just tends to happen. It's just the way it works in college football. But the fact that Napier, even though they're still going through the rebuilding part of their cycle right now, is still able to get guys from this hotbed of elite recruiting talent that's in the muck is a sign to me that they're not going to lose a step at all in recruiting, and they're going to very quickly go back to prominence. So I'll obviously look at this kid as an exciting prospect, but the fact that Florida was able to get him in an area that's ultra competitive when it comes to colleges competing for the talent in this part of the world, I think it's just a great sign for Florida going forward. Because once their turnaround starts to pick up more speed and they start winning a lot more games, it just shows to me that the recruiting is only going to get better and better and better and better. Because once they're able to actually recruit off their record, they're going to be able to get these guys from Pahokee, like this guy here, and they're also going to be able to start recruiting nationally again as well. I think it's one of those things where good recruiting begets better recruiting, like we talk about all the time. And I think Napier and company is doing a great job in that respect for Florida.
Yeah, Nick. And one more point to add here is not only will Napier and co be happy, but but Simmons also has been offered and accepted and will play baseball at Florida in the fall as well. So, everyone likes a good dual sport athlete. This kid just gets more and more preposterous as the days go on. So I think that that's a really big one as well. Great GPA, dual sport athlete, able to play at the next level in two different sports. He seems like a really big steal for Florida. So I'm really excited now to see Florida now and see how they can go forward and develop this young man as the season progresses.